Hey everyone, again it's Lwandile here, the leader and the instructor of Manunkwe School. Today we're actually doing exercise 3.31. Not quite sure, honestly speaking, at the moment how many solutions I'm gonna have. Probably it's gonna be 3. Again, I'm not quite sure. So what you gotta do is to write a program that prompts the user to enter the exchange rate from currency in US dollars to Chinese RMB. Okay, you gotta prompt the user to enter 0 to convert from US dollars to Chinese RMB and 1 to convert from Chinese RMB and US dollars. Okay, so they should have said to US dollars anyways. We gotta prompt the user to enter the amount in US dollars or Chinese RMB to convert it to Chinese RMB or US dollars respectively. They also gave us a sample, some sample runs here. Okay, I hope everyone is clear what's going on. So let's jump onto our IDE and try to come up with a solution. Okay. What I did is I created a scanner and I closed it. That's all. So what I'm going to do is to just go prompt the user to enter exchange rate. Okay, that is pretty straightforward. We're simply going to say enter the exchange rate from dollars to RMB. Okay, once I do that, of course I would have to keep that on some variable and I will call it exchange rate. It's gonna be scanner.next double. What else I will then do? I'll then prompt the user to enter 0 or 1. Okay, again we know that 0 corresponds to dollars to, let's see the exercise, 0 corresponds to US dollars to Chinese RMB. Okay, system.out.print. I'll simply go enter 0 to convert dollars to RMB and 1 vice versa. And vice versa. Okay, what I'll simply do, I'll have a variable. Of course, you can make it 0 or 1. 0 or 1. It's scanner. Of course, you can make it a byte. Now, perhaps the right question will be to ask if we can have a Boolean variable which will tell us whether or not we have a 0. I'm not gonna answer you on that, but if you do this, If you do this next, you see we also have next boolean, which tells us that you can of course use next boolean in order to read a boolean value from a keyboard, right? But I'm not gonna do it that way. I was just letting you know that it is one of the ways in which you can go about retrieving whatever the user decided to give you, given that it is a boolean value. Okay, so what I will then say, I'll simply go say if 0 or 1 is equals to 0, or zero or 1 is equals to 1. If this is the case, what we're going to do, in fact we will know that the user gave us something meaningful, so we gotta store the amount to be converted, and I'll simply declare this variable. I'll name it amount. Let me scroll down a little bit, and I'll then say if 0 or 1 is equals to 0, I'll simply go system.out.print, enter the dollar. I'll simply go enter the dollar amount. Okay, else let me copy and paste that and replace the dollar with RMB. Okay, once we do that, we'll then say seems like this isn't where it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be within this block, right? So I've got to copy it right over there. Okay, what I then do, I'll just go amount equals to input dot next, in fact it's scanner dot next double. Okay, now I need a variable to hold the converted amount. Again, what I will say is if 0 or 1 is equals to 0, then converted amount will simply be converted amount will simply be amount multiplied by exchange rate and then I'll simply go system.out.print It's important here that you notice that I used print, not println. Okay, I'll just go amount dollars is converted amount yen. Is it yuan or yen? It doesn't matter. Okay. Else here, instead of a multiply, we'll simply have a divide. We're gonna have a different operator. Okay. So what I will then do is to just go system.out.print amount UN is dollars is converted amount. Okay, if none of these if this is not the case, if a user decided to give us something else, not 0 or no 1, neither 0 nor 1, then in that case we'll just go system.out.print incorrect just go make sure you enter 0 or 1. Of course, this is an error. Okay, it seems like now it is time we actually test our thing, see if it works. Let's hit the run button. I wanna put the exact input, so it's 6.810 100. 6.810 100. Again, folks, remember I'm just doing this from student A's perspective. As you guys know, he happens not to be the best student we have. He makes silly mistakes most of the time. So if you want something that is more interesting, then you're gonna have to check out my second solution on this exercise. So it's once, let's see what they got. We got the exact same thing. $100 give us 681.0 yen. However, I decided to put the dots or the full stop at the end of my sentence. Okay, let's try it for the second time using a different input. he decided to give 6.815 and 10,000. You see, the way I did my solution seems like we're gonna get something different. Why? In my case, I made sure that only zeros and ones are accepted. You can check this out on your own. See, let's try 6.81. If we put something else here other than 5, other than 1, other than 0 or 1, then you're gonna have a problem. You see, that's how I decided to do it. However, we can get this number here, even though it might not be in correct decimal places. Let's try to put a 1 instead of a 5, or a 0 maybe. You'll see what I mean. Okay, it's 6.81. Let's try to put a 1 and go 10, 1 to 3,000. You see, we got the exact same number they got over here. However, as I told you guys, we did this solution from student A's perspective, so he didn't think about the importance of rounding off your answer. But the number is exactly the same, so it's $1468.43. See, it's $1468.43. It's one and the same thing. So cheers, you guys. I'll see you on the next one when I actually do this from student B's perspective, someone who's a bit clever than student A. That should be it, you guys. See you on the next tutorial.